here's my idea for what I believe is the perfect holding company. I would want my living trust to take my ownership or position in the holding company in the event of my death, but I will act as an officer in this company with 4 other members. Hopefully those 4 other members will be a part of my partnership coaching program. And if you want more information on that, there'll be a link below, or you can go to williamblandon.com or blandrink.com. How it's going to work is, and I'm getting this information from a law firm that I send people to, and this is probably the law firm that's going to set this up as well. And how this is going to work is my living trust will be set up in my state, the whole ownership in just my share in the company. The other 4 members can hold their positions in whatever form they want. Total, it'll be 5 members in this company. And if they so choose, they can have S-Corps in their place of ownership, or they can have living trusts in their place of ownership, as long as I have 5. So 4 others, including myself. Now, the reasons why it's going to be 5 in this perfect holding company structure is because you want to be able to break a tie. Now, husband and wife will only equal 1 member. So it can be a living trust or an S-Corp. Those can also be husband and wife. It's probably smarter to do it that way. So the actual, it'll probably be a LLC because it'll be a partnership set up. But it'll be a LLC for privacy set up in most likely Delaware or Wyoming for anonymity. But either our S-Corps or living trusts will be set up in the states where we live. So it'll be anonymity in the actual holding company because no one will know that our living trust or S-Corps own that holding company. Now, the reason why it's a perfect holding company because number one, it's gonna have anonymity. Even though you got this Transparency Act thing, the average law firm won't know you own this. And the banks will only see that you're either your trust or your S-Corps own this. So still gonna have a lot of anonymity with this. And what this company is going to do, it's going to act as a vehicle to control and own future companies. And the anonymity is going to keep lawsuits at bay that may come up, may never come up, but it's going to have that anonymity. We're probably going to start with ownership of the transportation company that I currently am setting up. That will act as a vehicle to fund all this. It'll act as the first company to fund all this. And once you become a member of the partnership coaching program, the first 4 will go over percentages and stuff like that. But what we expect is the members to bring some funds to the table, at least $5,000 each member, Over time, that could happen though. So it doesn't have to happen right away. You probably will start with, say, like 1,000, and over time they'll fund this into this holding company at least 5,000. What we're going to do is build corporate credit, probably close to anywhere from $150,000 to $500,000. And obviously the first thing we're going to go after is companies to fund this perfect holding company with the corporate credit we buy, as well as real estate in the future. And that's going to give, the real estate's going to give the holding company longevity. And obviously we won't directly own any real estate directly. What we're probably going to do is it's going to own real estate in the form of LLCs that are owned by this holding company. So it won't directly own any real estate, but it'll govern, the 5 members will govern the active business practices. You say why we have 5 members? Because we're going to make decisions and you don't ever want to tie. So husband and wife, if they come aboard, they only count as 1 vote. And reasons why you can't have husband and wife as separate members is because that would be, obviously they would make decisions together and it will overpower the other members. That's why husband and wife will only count as 1 vote. The goal is to have at least 5 active companies in the future, but we can start with 1. And to go after 1 large real estate deal, say like a multifamily or a large commercial real estate project. Once we have the necessary corporate credit, and obviously the real estate will pay back the loans or that actively that we acquire. So any loans that we acquire, the real estate, the money we make from the real estate will pay down the loans. The active businesses will pay down the loan. Now I'm willing to put in, I'm going to own my transportation company that I first set up, but later on down the line, what I'm going to do is sell it to this holding company. Now, why would I do that? Number one, I'll be a part of this, but I want longevity, and I'm not going to have any greed. So I'll be a sole owner of the transportation company for say a year or 2, but at some point I will sell it with corporate credit already built, mind you. So I'm going to build corporate credit on my own transportation company. Once I sell it to this holding company structure, it'll be automatically give the holding company credibility and credit, if that makes sense. So once we start going after corporate credit on the holding company, it'll already have credit established and some power. Very important, because it jump starts the holding company's active credit. And any future companies we go after that are underneath the holding company, we're also going to go after individual corporate credit for each of those active businesses. The LLCs that hold property, we won't worry about corporate credit on those. It won't be needed. We'll just be worried about the necessary insurance and the people in place to run it. And this is something that's going to probably be a working project for probably the rest of my life. But I'm willing to do it. Now, for individual ownership, each member of this holding company could also is going to have individual anonymity, and it'll be almost impossible to get sued because each member could have their own individual living trust own their portion of the holding company. So their living trust or their S corp, which a husband or wife could be both. Husband or wife could be an S corp, which a lot of people don't know. They think it has to be one person. Or a husband or wife can also own the living trust. So there's layers. That's why it's the perfect holding company. So there won't be any real way for lawyers or creditors to sue any individual member, because there's layers. And even the real estate will be owned by a sub LLC owned by the holding company. So my active structure will be my living trust, will have ownership in my part of this, as well as take my portion of pay as a active officer. Now, the other members can act as just directors, or they can also act as officers. They can do both. But either or, we're going to control the main holding company. And this will be set up by a real law firm. And it'll be 100% legal. So we don't have to worry about any discrepancies with anything being set up wrong or incorrectly. This is going to be set up 100% legally by a law firm. Now, I do work with filing companies, which are extremely cheaper. But for this project, it's only going to be a law firm. Probably the one, I have two law firms that I send people to. It's probably going to be the cheaper of the two. They both are credible enough to set this up. I think they're both I know for a fact one of them is out of California. I forget which state the other one's out of. But I so heartily trust both law firms to set this up. But one's going to be a little bit cheaper. The one in California is a little bit pricier for obvious reasons. And I trust that this will be my ultimate lifelong project. This will be something that if I die, obviously with ownership being controlled by my living trust, the only thing is I would have to put in an active successor to act as the board member to control my shares as far as decision making. And I could pick a officer to run it. And they don't have to be the same person. For example, I could put in place my daughter to receive my funds, and the company could hire a officer to run things as the CEO. But technically, as long as you have the board members making the decisions, the individual's companies underneath it will have hired employees to run each company underneath the main holding company. This is, in my opinion, going to be the perfect and the safest holding company structure I'm going to build in my lifetime. I originally was going to make it a C Corp, but I found that it doesn't necessarily have to be a C Corp. It can be a partnership, but it's probably going to act as a C Corp, but it will be a LLC, but taxed as a C Corp. And there's reasons for that. If you're remotely interested in becoming one of the first members, you have to get into the partnership coaching program for a very small fee of only $497 one time, and then an active ongoing amount of $97 a month. Here's the cool part about that. If you come in already with an active S Corp or a living trust, you can write that off as a business expense, or a regular operating company if you so choose to use. You'll be able to write this off. Even in the future, if you set up an S Corp after the fact, after paying that, you can write this off as a business expense, which is key. Check with your tax professional, but pretty sure we all know that could be definitely a business expense write-off, anything you're doing for business. I truly believe this is going to be my ultimate holding company. I don't think it's going to take the rest of my life to set up, as long as I'm living the next 5 to 10 years. We'll be able to make this happen, possibly much sooner. But all I know is the law firm, the actual holding company, won't take long at all to set up. I think to set up your living trust will probably even take a little longer. But you could use an S Corp, which would be much quicker. This will have probably the ultimate in anonymity. That's why this is going to work out perfectly. If you're worried about lawsuits, it's going to have insurance on every level. So if anybody sues, let's say a property is sued that's owned by the holding company, they're going to go after the insurance first, and they won't even know that you own this holding company because of where we place it in either Delaware or Wyoming. So there's going to be so many layers, you won't worry about anything getting to your family members or yourself. Again, if you're interested in setting up something like this, even for your own self, like you don't want me involved and you just want to set this up for you and 5 family members, you still got to get into the partnership coaching program, and I'll walk you through the setup. The only thing you might have to pay for separately is the law firm. You're going to have to pay the law firm for the actual setup of the company, but I'll walk you through the steps. And you could use me as your advisor on this, simply just by paying your membership of $97 a month. So again, if you're interested in this, go to the links below. I'll have some information below. If you want to email me and you got questions, it's just willblanding.com. willblanding@gmail.com if you just want to email me. And I'll answer some of your harder questions. And take part in this membership, this partnership coaching program. I think it's a steal. I'm offering it for. And you're also going to get advice from a real law firm. So it's not just going to be me advising you on these steps. Obviously, once we get the law firm involved, they're also going to contribute to any legal questions you have on the setup. I want to thank you guys for listening to me and taking the time out to watch this video. If you watched it to its entirety, I'm visiting my daughter right now for the last time. She's about to move for hopefully the last time for a while. And this is going to be my last time where she's only 30 minutes away. She's moving to Danbury, Connecticut, which is a little further away. It's about 45 minutes to 45 minutes to an hour away, which is a little frustrating, but she's in Oxford, Connecticut right now, small town. Moving to Danbury soon. I'm out closer to Hartford. She's only like 30 minutes away, but it's really nice to only be 30 minutes away to come visit my daughter and my granddaughters, but I'm gonna have to drive a little further. Gotta drive a little further for love, I guess. Again, I want to thank you guys for your time. I want to thank you long-term viewers for continuing to watch. If you want to see more videos on the holding company structure or topic, all you got to do is subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.